fans and collectors. On this episode of the Creation Evaluation Station, we're going to go way back and evaluate this set. It's one of my oldest Marvel superheroes sets. It is the Avenjet Space Mission. Before I get into any further, I just wanted to let new viewers know that I do in-depth reviews of models and construction kits, both new and old, mostly Lego, but other products as well. I also do reviews and discussions of other creative works such as movies, video games, and animation. So, because they are in reviews, they can be on the long sides. Make sure you're using the timestamps embedded in the red line down here or in the description to jump around to your favorite part, or to use as bookmarks to come back to at a later date. So let's take a closer look at this box. This is really cool. I liked it, and primarily why I picked it up is because it reminded me of classic space, despite none of the color schemes being like this of any of the space systems. Although it has several unique characters in it that I'm sure collectors are excited for. If they can get their hands on it. Sorry, this is not for sale. Yeah, and this is really cool. There's the back. Apparently it separates on the back. It's got several other gimmicks going on there. Going into its details, it's set number 76049. It's for ages 7 through 14. That's how you know it's an older set. Or in today's system, it would be 7 plus. It has 523 pieces, and it originally retailed for $59.99 and was released in January 2016. So yeah, we're going back a little ways. It wasn't the first one to come out or anything. I just didn't have a lot of them. I always had mixed feelings about licensed stuff. I like the Marvels and Batman stuff more than I like, say, Star Wars. Like, this really isn't based off of any movie, maybe the comic books to some extent, but it's a very original design. That's one reason why I gravitate more to Marvel and the DC, the superheroes line, than I do Star Wars. So I feel like Star Wars, it's very important to have those details, because the Star Wars fans are Star Wars fans. That's all I got to say. Meanwhile, these can have a little bit more freedom and do what they want. But anyways, I am excited to put this together after all these years it's been sitting in my backlog. So yeah, let's go crack her open and see what's inside. Here we have the contents of the box, and we have a pretty thick booklet here. We have a sticker sheet. It's got a few too many stickers than I'd like, but I was not surprised when I saw it. There's quite a few decals that they show on the box, so they're probably all stickers. We even have a little mini comic book, which I think this is really cool. And we have Thanos all bagged up so he can't take over the world. And, or destroy the world, rather. We have bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, and bag 4. That's it. We'll open them up and take a look at the pieces, including releasing Thanos upon the world. There we have the contents of the Thanos bag, but don't worry, Thanos has been disarmed. You don't have to worry about him snapping his fingers. Thanos was wrong. Thor shouldn't have gone for the head. He should have just chopped his arms off, then he wouldn't be able to flick his fingers. Anyways, the rest of this is the contents of bag 1. We got a cockpit up here. We got red, white, blue, kind of expected for Avengers color. But then we have this one pink black here. Probably an internal piece, but looks really out of place. We have Captain America here. There's his shield and everything. Got a couple transparent blue studs, and we have a bunch of transparent pink studs and transparent pink saucers as well. And a bunch of other smaller pieces here. some yellow pieces too. They're probably internal parts. So that is bag 1. Here we have the contents of bag 2, and we got some large beams, both Technic and regular bricks. Not surprising, gotta have some structure to this spaceship. Some hinged parts, various colored parts here, probably internal structures, with some clear red curved slope pieces. We got Iron Man in here, and we have a whole bunch of transparent pieces, transparent blue and clear. Got dots, we got one by one round bricks. We got studs in blue, cheese slopes, 1x2s, a lot of other 1x2s down here as well. Some more hinges, pins, probably going with the Technic parts over there. And that's it. Here you have bag 3. We got quite a few larger plates, not too many though. We have more of those red transparent sloped round slope pieces. We also have 2 large discs with lovely printing on them. Got a bunch of large tiles, or some small ones too we're going to get to here. Some more plates, angled ones, small square ones. We have this character I'm not too familiar with. I can't remember his name. But he has a cape, which is I believe what's in the box. We have a lot of small parts, excuse me. We have a lot of small parts, including a lot of tiles in red, a lot of vent pieces, white tiles, some pins, a lot of these double wide cheese slopes, cheese wedges, some transparent blue light pieces. Call them light pieces because they were originally in lights and sound parts. That's what they usually are in. They pipe the light into those and are supposed to be like lights or whatever. But yeah, that's bag 3. Here we have the 4th and last bag. We got some more plates. We got another cockpit canopy, studs on side pieces of different kinds, another pink brick, a bunch of yellow ones. Captain Marvel's in here, and she looks like she's got 2 heads. That's cool, so we can have a masked and unmasked one. We got a bunch of transparent pieces, clear and blue again, 1x2 clears, blue cheese slopes, a blue tile, some more of these blue transparent lights. Got a lot of small pieces in here. We also have these prints of these dots here with stars on them. Not sure where they're gonna go. But yeah, that's it. So let's finish this up. Here we have all our leftover parts, at least our normal ones here. And we have the usual dots and slopes and things, of course, and we have some transparent colors. Transparent blue. There's a transparent red. And some others are just clear. We also have a extra one of these star printed dot pieces. Got a oxygen mask. However that wants to be used, whether it's underwater or in space. And then we have some extra studs here. These are for the stud shooters, in case you lose them. And Iron Man also had some strange extra pieces. I'm not sure why, but they were actually in the instruction booklet, so they don't exactly count as extra like these do. Then we have these very strange extras. I looked around, I'm like, do these go on something? I thought maybe they attached to Captain America's backpack or something, but no, these don't go anywhere. These are very strange extra pieces, and the fact that there's 2 of them is very suspicious, but I could not figure out where they go. So that is quite a bit extra, all things considered. We have all our heroes here for this set, and our first one here is Hyperion. Now, I don't know anything about him. I'm not familiar with him at all. Apparently he can breathe in space and fly without the use of anything. Any apparatus like Captain America or Iron Man here. And then we have Captain Marvel here. She obviously has been seen in space without a mask and without, flight capabilities. She's also here holding her masked face. You can switch this out with her other head. So I just have her hold on to it so it doesn't roll away. And I got Iron Man here in his space suit, and then Space Captain America in his breathing apparatus and his rocket. We're going to look at these accessories here real quick. He's got his shield, of course. Iron Man in this version has a open mask. It's really hard to get from this angle, like that. And I think it looks really nice. That's a really nice one. I don't know why they stopped making those. Those are kind of cool. And then flipping to the back side, he's got his jetpack there, and then it's not really a jetpack, it's using his energy. It's Captain America here, who's got a jetpack of some kind of propulsion. You can see here he's got his jetpack here, and it's got stars on it. Why? Because it's Captain America, of course. That's the only reason why. We do have a nice cape here for Hyperion, and it's shaped rather interesting. Makes it look very heroic, swooshing in the breeze, I guess. And yeah, that's not too bad. Now we're going to take off all their gear and take a closer look at their prints. We had these guys stripped down of their gear, and we can take a closer look at their prints. Now I'm not too familiar with his character, like I said before, so I'm not so sure about his costume design, but it doesn't look bad. My only really gripe is these legs should have been dual molded in that, because they're all gold along the side and back, but look kind of funky. And the thing is, they had dual molding because his arms are dual molded. So I don't know. Other than that, it's not too bad. We have Captain Marvel here, and she doesn't look too bad. We'll pop her head off just a second so you can see that mask on her. That's what she looks like with that. Now the mask is not dual molded. Not dual molded. It has two faces because obviously it's got nothing to cover up the other side. But yes, not too bad. Mask anyways. Now I do have a problem here with her suit. I mean, the detail is nice. There's a lot of detail on it, but it's so dark. And that dark blue, this red, it bleeds through the red. This red is a lot darker than it should be. Like, it should mask her helmet and her hands, and it doesn't. It's quite dark. And there are a bit of opacity issues in this set overall. Now, Iron Man here looks really great. He's got some great detail printed on his body. It's too bad there's no any printing on his arms, but his legs and his feet all have some nice printing. And it's really nice design. No opacity issues there, but then again, he's all white. Now, Captain America here. Now, this is where we get into our opacity issues. The head's not looking too bad. Maybe the blue is bleeding through his mouth there a little bit, but not too bad. But you can definitely tell the white. Even the red should probably be a little bit brighter, but the white's definitely bleeding through with the heart, or not the heart, the star and the stripes on him. Be a lot brighter with another coat on there. Now looking at the back, Captain America has only got one-sided face, and the back doesn't look too bad. Still got the opacity issue to an extent. Iron Man looks really good on that back. More detail. Iron Man figure in the set's probably the best one. He's got a second face there. Oh, and let's pop this back off again and see her other face. A little more smiley one. There she is. And once again, right, it's too dark. Not too bad overall. It's not as much detail on the back there. It doesn't really need as much. And then Hyperion over here has second face and the rest of his costume here. Although there's really not much in pattern, just showing off his muscles back there. So, not bad. Overall, there's just some opacity issues. And now, we have one more figure to go. One big bad figure to go. And we'll look at that in just a second. Here we have the big bad Thanos figure. And pretty nice detail. Now, this is based off the comics and not the movie. But from what I've seen of the comics, it looks pretty good. He's got quite the grin there. I guess he knows he's winning, I guess. He's got posable arms like a typical Big Fig. Now, they don't rotate all the way, partially due to his shoulder piece here, his collar, or whatever you want to call it, his armor. And so it is disappointing in that, but it does move. You got some good movement in there. And the wrists move as well. The head is a single molded right on there, so that doesn't rotate, neither do the legs. He's got anti-studs on his feet, and his hands can hold on to bars like typical figures, although there is a larger hole underneath the thumb, so that's interesting. Now, he doesn't come with any gloves or the gauntlets, but that was mainly the main MacGuffin of the movie. That there is more to Thanos than just the Infinity Gauntlets. I believe that wasn't his only story. But yeah, he's not bad looking. Got some nice gold on there. Both the plastic and the printing. There's one other thing that's involved with him, but we'll look at that in the review part, which let's move on to that. We've got everything assembled here, and before we look at our jet, there's one other build we have to look at here, and that is on Thanos's feet, because we have these here that are also builds. And yeah, they're basically just like rocket levitating boots for him, but they've also got stud shooters on them as well that fire really well. We don't need to try them out, but yeah. So I thought these were pretty neat, and they just clip onto his big old feet here. It's got 2x3 pads. You fold up that, and voila, he's got boots, so he can maneuver around in space and annoy our heroes. So that's pretty cool. Now, we've already looked at all these amazing figures, and we'll just push them aside, except for Captain America here, because you see Captain America has this rocket backpack, and it's also got this bar on the top of it. Well, if you need to put Captain America here in the ship, you have clips back here that you can put his little rocket ship, and you can also, his rocket backpack, I should say, and you can also put the shield. And now that you've got all of his paraphernalia removed, except for his mask that likes to slide aside, we can put him in the cockpit. Now, these cockpits are rather shallow, and if you set him up like this, he's not going to fit. So if you want to put your characters in here, they have to be leaning back. And oops, you need his feet all the way front, and they practically lay down in this ship. As you can see, he's laying down there quite a bit. The same goes here for Captain Marvel up here in the front. She's practically laying down. So, not too bad here in the front with the nose dipped down, but kind of a disappointment that they have to lay him down so much, but they didn't make a lot of space in these cockpits. In fact, that is probably my one problem with this, is it's a smaller set. There's not a lot of space. Say that, it's a spaceship. But anyways, all jokes aside, let's take that back out here just for a moment so we can took hair off. Just got shaved the inside here. Now there are prints here for this tile, so this is basically a computer monitor, and you got the transparent piece there and that weird blue piece there that will normally have a print on it, or a sticker on it. Got an extinguisher back there, and then we got the back. It's nice that this is a two-seater. The other two guys can fly, so they don't need to be in here. Captain Marvel can fly too, so it's really only Captain America who can't fly. Yeah, you got a lot of room in there, but yeah, they need all that room. Like you see, you got 2x4 space. You could almost put two guys in there, except you can't, as you saw with the top part here. They've got to be practically laying down, so they need all this space in here. It's nice they use these hinge parts here to give some space for the hands, which I thought that was kind of neat. Now, what does this thing do? Well, first you've got a hinge here, so you can give this cool looking downward slope nose, or if you want it more straight, you can do this. And this thing is very zoomable. You got plenty to hold on back there, and the underside as well. And speaking of the underside, let's flip it over here, see what it looks like underneath. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flick missiles that you can push a lot harder than that, and they will shoot off. So I thought those were kind of neat. And you got plenty of them underneath there. And you also have this big empty space. Now this is another small disappointment of this, but not entirely. Basically what you do is you have, this is where our flying heroes hang out. And you can't put Iron Man in there, unfortunately, if you've got his little rocket boosters on there, but you could take them off and use him for that. But you could take, like, this guy here, and inside, put him like this, and you lay him down, closes back up. So, you want to release him into the space, and you go like this, you push from the bottom, and then he can fly off and fight. And but that's not all that happens here, because when you open this up like this, you can also detach this, and this becomes a second flyer. Much smaller little shuttle, but one just the same. It also has stud shooters on top here, so you can fire at your enemies. And once you get all that done, you've got this, which still isn't too bad looking, except for the empty hole here. That was where this used to be. That's one thing I wish there was more here. You probably, I mean, if you put like a place on the bottom of this to close it up, you could lay down some characters in there, but there isn't really a lot of space there, just like there isn't much in these cockpits. I got the nice printed pieces here for the hovering fans, whatever you call it. I don't know, this is not a Quinjet, but this looks like it was a prototype Quinjet, or they had them in mind when they were building this. I'm not sure the story behind this. I need to look it up, whether this was an actual vehicle in the comics or whatnot. Yeah, this internal part here is kind of disappointing that there's not more here, but it still gives you a nice, like, separate launching gimmick here for this. And by the way, this does go down all the way and can snap into place. on, I think there's 2 studs here that will hold it in place, so it's nice and tight. So this is not going to flop loose, but unless you pull it loose. So that's a nice touch. Got the cool looking jet engine, the engines back here, whatever they're using, fusion reactor or something. And get the nice view of those cool wings, double wings. Really neat. Oh, and these have like a, you can change the angle of these along with these. Of course, these are a simple piece, but these are quick hinges, and they can give you a different shape to your. Maybe you land like that. Of course, you also got your missiles kind of exposed like that. They can go all the way down as well. I like looking at them at an angle. I think that looks cool. So I have the upper ones at a certain angle too, but these can swoof, move all around if you want. Maybe you want these down and the other ones up. That actually looks kind of cool like that. So let's head back to the desk and give this a final evaluation. So we're back here at the desk, and before I get to my final thoughts, I was looking up, trying to find out more information about the Avenjet. Whether it was a, you know, comic, did it come from a comic, video game? I know it wasn't from the movies. I've seen all the movies, and I couldn't find anything. All I could find was basically the set, either reviews or people selling it on secondary market. But I did find out that Hyperion is actually a villain. So I apologize for calling him a hero, definitely showing off my Marvel naivety, which I don't know everything, and it's a big universe. There's a lot of characters, and I haven't actually read a lot of the comics. I've read some, I think mostly X-Men ones, but yeah, so I apologize for that. But anyways, getting back to the overall set, I enjoyed this set overall. There were some things I didn't like about it that I wish could be improved, which you could do with probably your own collection, but overall I like this set. It reminds me of older classic space, just the way the build is. I can't even put my finger on what it is, although after building it, it is a pretty simple build, although I'll talk more about that when I get to the final eval. Yeah, which we'll move into now anyways. So as far as appearance, the figures, yeah, they could be improved with just extra paint, but the detail is all there. The jet itself looks really cool. Jet, spaceship, whatever it's supposed to be, a space-worthy jet, I don't know. But yeah, it looks really good overall. And Thanos looks awesome, and I like the little builds for his feet there. So I gave appearance a 10 easily. I think this looks pretty cool. It looks original and interesting. So moving on to function. Function I gave a 9 to. This set is very zoomable. You know, it's got good places to hold and it's fun to fly. But when it comes to some of its functions, well, simple, like putting the characters in the cockpits. You have to lay them down. I don't really like that. There's also the separation here is fine, and everything works fine how it's supposed to, but it feels like something more could have been done with the empty space down here, and it's like it's not really adding a function, but just putting a floor in or something, giving a cargo bay or something would help a lot. Although that technically really isn't a function, but it is what the thing can do. So I just kind of took a point off for kind of this and that little things that could have been given it something more. Now, as far as fun, well, I talked about balance. I always talk about balance in the narrative with good guys versus bad guys. Not always important, but superheroes, supervillain sets kind of are. And now that I found out Hyperion is actually a villain, this makes balance even more so. I mean, it makes sense that you would have superheroes teaming up to fight Thanos. He's a very powerful being, and you want the Avengers as kind of a team, so you want them teaming up and working as a team. So you're going to want, having more of them is fine. And then you have their ship here to transport them to space. Story-wise, this works okay. So there's fun there to have. You can, have a good balance here. Probably the hardest problem is there are a lot of figures here. And if you're playing by yourself, you don't have enough hands. But that's another thing. It's fun to play with others as well. So this does allow for multiple, more than one kid to play with this. And that always works good as well, because you want your kids playing well together. So I ended up giving fun a 10. The build itself was interesting and kind of fun put together. Said it was on the basic side, but it was still interesting seeing how it came together. That brings us to technique, and there isn't anything really amazing here in techniques. Nothing bad either. Like I said, it was interesting seeing it come together, but it does use mostly basic techniques. There are some, studs on side building here in some areas. Along the wings there for the most part. But yeah, there was nothing super amazing. So I ended up giving technique a 9. Nothing bad, but just nothing amazing either. So you add that up, you get 20, 29, you get 38, and you divide that by 4, of course, and you get a 9.5. And that is our final eval. We're not going to talk too much about price. I will here briefly just mention at 523 pieces and originally retailed for $59.99. So it's going to be like maybe 11 cents, maybe not even 11 cents, but it's going to be slightly over 10 cents our standard per piece. But I think that's pretty good considering you got licensed product and you have a big fig, which they always like to make cost more money. I think the price would have been turned out good. So overall, I enjoyed the set. So let me know what you think about the set down in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, whether you like the set or not, if you had fun watching it. And if you are new here, please think about subscribing and hitting that notification bell for updates when I upload videos. And also check out the description down below for Facebook and Twitter links, because I send out notifications on there as well, and they can come out a lot quicker than YouTube's. And also there's a Patreon down there you can check out as well. It's very small, something work in progress anyways. That's it for me here at the Creation Evaluation Station. I do, by the way, have one of the Quinjet, the older Quinjet. We are going to be putting that together eventually. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's it for now. So, this is me signing off here, reminding you that creativity is key.